Okay, what's up? Welcome to another video. I want to keep the content that I'm sharing with you guys as real and representative of the actual lifestyle or muscle gain process. So some of these uploads are not overly creative or viral. Here we are in the gym again, blasting the tries and buys and talking about some insight or tip. And the reason that I want to do that is that I think it's more representative of the true process of gaining muscle. It's kind of boring at times or monotonous and repetitive, and the tendency is for all of us, myself included, to look for more exciting answers and avenues. But I've noticed that all of these sometimes tempting options, whether it be, like a new rep range or a new way to train or a new freaking diet, it can alleviate the kind of unrelenting monotony of the true process of gaining substantial amounts of muscle over years. And at times you're sitting in it and in particular, like today, I didn't have a great day in the gym. It wasn't really hitting my numbers. I didn't have as much strength. It's always a little depressing. Not a horrible session, but my sinuses were kind of plugged up. I was like sneezing a lot, and I just didn't feel super strong, and I just didn't get an amazing session. And then mentally, you're kind of thinking, like, all the negative thoughts kind of creep in sometimes. You're like, I'm not even making any progress. What am I doing? Am I wasting my time? My physique's shit. Like, sometimes those thoughts get me. Typically, I'm quite optimistic, but once in a while, you have a down day. I think that's inevitable. And to me, it just speaks to the true nature of pushing yourself to try to gain a whole bunch of muscle. So it's a lot of repetition of the same shit over and over, and then having bad days where you're just in there doing the same workout, doing the same freaking arm workout. Obviously, you guys, most of you probably can train with a little more variety than myself. But I think a lot of the same dynamics apply, like just reaching for a new exercise and a new this to substitute the sort of inevitable repetitive nature of the process doesn't necessarily actually improve your results. Doesn't mean you can't explore with new exercises, and I am an advocate of always trying new things, but it's kind of a balance between doing new stuff and trying to find new stuff that actually leads to more growth. And a lot of the time it's not the new sexy flashy thing that's gonna feel better or make you more motivated and excited to train. So a lot of the times it might be like just doing an extra set or, changing your tempo. And sometimes those things are a little more fun and they do give you a little extra boost, but it's not the way that, because I've been there too, where you're new in the gym, you don't realize, and you just kind of fall for all the bullshit, like fancy things, and you're jumping all over the place with all these crazy ideas, and it's not what's actually like leading to more progress. So anyways, the consistency and the repetitiveness and the high degrees of intensity, those are kind of your core functions or factors. Brain's a little dead after training. Sometimes, like, I feel like my body is just throttled. And that's the other thing, is I'm really pushing my limits to try to achieve the greatest physique I can for myself, given my genetic potential and my injury limitations. And it requires a lot of energy and you know. And the more you put into something, the more like consequential the outcome is, you know. Like if you're kind of just casually going and you're not really trying that hard, then the results you get are not as dire, let's say, or as exciting. There's less of a like magnitude. Whereas if you're like, because I'm like sacrificing a lot of other things and I'm prioritizing so what I want to do, but at times, you know, that increased pressure and dedication and opportunity cost, if you will, from not doing other things with my life, sometimes it can flip a little negative, you know. And it's a technique that, or an approach that'll allow you to get more results because you make it a higher priority and you're more dedicated. So, you know, you're spending more time training, you're, you know, evolving your perspective. So you're assessing the results you're getting and you're pushing to, you know, what could I do to get more results? Like that mindset is extremely useful to see better results in the gym. But then the flip side of that is that, you know, it can also amplify the sort of negative side when, you know, you don't get the results you want or you don't have good workouts. So I think it's just like, if you really, really try super hard, it makes the process harder kind of in a way, right? If you're really like, it takes a degree of courage, I guess, is what I'm experiencing. It's like to really go for something. There's no guarantee, you know, that you're going to get the result. You know, and you have moments like I do where I'm like, maybe my genetics are just not good enough, or like maybe, you know, I'm not cut out, and maybe I'm just holding on to a dream of having like a super epic physique and then sharing, making content about it, sharing in the journey and the process with a community. Like maybe I just can't do it. Like maybe people just don't give a shit. And maybe you're just going to fail. It's a very real possibility, you know, like maybe you can't like make a living doing that. Maybe you're not, you know, like that, those are the real thoughts. And the more that I've tried to sacrifice things, the more those thoughts become intimidating. And maybe that's something that a lot of you can't relate to. Like you're just going to the gym to work out, to get jacked. You're not trying to make social media content. But I think there's still, you know, even if you're not doing that, maybe you want to do something, whatever your goals are in your life or whatever your idea of the sickest life for yourself. I think the dynamics are probably going to be similar. It's going to be really hard to achieve. That's why, like, if you have ambition to live a certain lifestyle or achieve a certain goal, a lot of times it's something most people don't achieve, or it's difficult to. So then, you know, you're going to have to try really, really hard. You're going to have to sacrifice other things in your life. So then the pressure and the stakes are going to be higher. And then your ability to deal with negative thoughts and emotions and stress and uncertainty is also going to be heightened. So anyways, just trying to keep it real. And, you know, I don't know, you guys know, like, I think that there's just information overkill now in the fitness content space. Doesn't mean there isn't room for ideas and theorizing, but I think, to me, what I want to show more of is like the realistic day-to-day grind. I don't know if that's the right word, but lifestyle of training. And like those of you that are committed and are doing it as well, like maybe it's, I don't know, inspiring, or that makes you feel seen, and you are also like, God, yeah, sometimes it's just like, you know, I train hard for like 3 years and I gain 15, 20 pounds of muscle, and I look at other people online just way ahead of me. I don't feel good about my results, and you just got to keep showing up. So yeah, and you know, most of the time I just genuinely enjoy lifting and being in the gym, that it's worth it. And a lot of these kind of big picture, like long-term things of like, what is my end result? Like, how am I stacking up? Like, is it going to work out? And like, am I making any progress, or do my genetics just suck? A lot of times I don't consistently think about those things because I'm just genuinely happy to be in there lifting and training. But sometimes those things are still a factor, right? And I think we all experience that to a degree, where you are trying to get a certain result. And even if you enjoy being in the gym and enjoy the process, which I hope you do, there's still an element of, like, am I progressing? And are the result? A lot of times the results aren't coming as fast as you'd like. It's pretty typical. I think we all, if you're interested in building your body, like, we would all love for the the progress to speed up a little. Come on, layer it on. Like, give me some more mass. I don't think there's many people out there going, "Oh, I'm getting jacked too quickly." This is not. I want this to slow down so I can savor it. Don't think that's a problem that most of us have. Yeah, so that's it, man. We're all in it together, We're all chipping away, grinding, and ultimately the benefits of pushing yourself physically, challenging yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically is giving us all a better life, So even regardless of what your end results are, or where you're at exactly, going in there, doing what you can, and pushing yourself to get better in the gym, I think enhances your life in many other ways, and it's a worthwhile pursuit if you're interested in bettering yourself, even if at times you feel like you're not achieving the exact result you want and you're getting bummed out. It's still a beautiful thing that I think everybody should invest in, even if you're not trying to put on tons of muscle. Your goals are a little different, but having some kind of consistent physical fitness routine where you really challenge yourself and push yourself physically, I think is just undeniably beneficial, in my opinion. So yeah, some of these things are like ways to ground yourself when you get a little negative or down, just to remind, so I'm just kind of talking through it, rambling on. But yeah, I don't want to, I'm hesitant to I've tried a lot of different content. I don't know if any of you guys really know, but are fully aware, but I had a burst a couple years ago where I was really, making short form content, and I was just trying to get engagement. I was just trying to get views, which isn't a bad thing. And it led me to making a lot of posture and mobility and anatomy based content, which I have a solid base of knowledge due to the amount of physical dysfunction I've experienced, challenged me to learn more, over many years. I'm no expert, but I had a good amount of knowledge in terms of anatomy and movement patterns, and we won't use the technical terms of biomechanics of the body. And some of my content was getting lots of views, on Instagram and TikTok. Some of the posture videos were getting millions of views and shares and likes, and it was like playing the content game. I was excelling, but I kind of realized if you just chase engagement, wasn't that I wasn't interested in those topics, but it wasn't really what I was the most interested in or passionate about. But I was just chasing views, and one thing led to another, and then I was just hiring editors and finding ways to make the videos more engaging. If you go to my Instagram and scroll down a ways, you'll see I was playing the content game. But I just realized I was you know what? This isn't really inspiring to me. I don't really have I know it is helping people and it's good information, but what am I trying to say? I just think that it led to a point where I was this isn't really what I'm super passionate about, talking about posture. I'm interested in it, and it's something that, but I don't want to make all my videos about posture and all my videos about stretching and mobility and imbalances. I fucking love training for muscle gain. Like that's so, and I mean, at this point I'm being kind of, you could say picky or entitled, but I just realized that I was like, I'd rather just go work a job where I get a guaranteed paycheck if I'm not doing the thing I'm like passionate about. Like I just ended up in a place where I was making content just for views, and not that there's anything wrong with that. At the end of the day, if you're trying to make a living and support yourself or provide for others, your family, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just found like if you're doing social media and content, like you're taking on a lot of risk and uncertainty, you know, because it's not like a job you just go to and you have a guaranteed paycheck. It's like, I don't fucking know, man. Can you make a video that gets lots of views, and then can you somehow find a way to convert those views into something people want to buy, or like convince brands to sponsor you based on your engagement metrics? Like there's a lot of uncertainty and risk, and to me it wasn't worth taking on that risk and uncertainty to do something that I wasn't really passionate about, or didn't really have like a vision. I was just like responding to what was getting views. I say all this to make the point that I'm interested in sharing my experience with working out and making content only in the way that I'm you know, staying true to what I'm passionate about and sharing my experience in a way with you guys that is something that I'm excited and feel passionate and driven to do. And that's so, you know, right now the videos are a little boring. I'm not playing the content game at all. I'm not, you know, coming up with viral ideas and concepts. I'm sit here on the couch and talk about the ups and downs of training and the monotony of it. Play, you know, endless clips of triceps extensions. So, what's up?
Oh, I didn't realize you were recording.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Huh?
I'm almost done.
Okay.
If you want to just wait like a minute, I'll wrap it up. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know why you guys need to know that, but yeah, just want like I'd rather make, even if the videos are a little boring and it's not going to get as many clicks and whatever else, at least it's actually the message that I feel is genuine and authentic, and I'm excited to talk about, and I'm sharing like just literally what I'm doing and not, you know, chasing views and virality. And that's part of it to a degree, you know, and like I think I will evolve my content to potentially try to make it more successful that way. But at the moment, I'm just most interested in pushing myself for more physical results in the gym, and then sharing that process and all the emotions and, you know, mental aspects and physical aspects that come with it, because I think that's what to me is the most needed or the most valuable and is like the most genuine thing. Like if I can, instead of having to dress it up and make it sexy and like, you know, make it seem like pull people in with like, here's the one quick, you know, or like whatever, talk about drama or slap studies in there, like whatever way to like make the content like so fucking engaging that you click and you're watching, you don't even know why. So it's like you're just being like, your brain is just being hijacked, you know. That's just the nature of the beast with social media. I ain't mad at it, but I hope you guys, you know, maybe it's boring and maybe it's repetitive, but I do think it is, you know, much more. And some of my insights, you know, maybe sometimes it's I'm yammering on and it's drawn out and you're like, oh, this is boring, like, oh. But I think it's just it's an actual representation of what the process looks like, and the things I'm sharing are like genuine things I'm experiencing along the way as just a regular guy, just like you guys. So I think the net value to me is actually more significant, but it's just not as sexy. Anyways, I don't know. Just have a tendency to rant and ramble, but just going to keep the videos pretty simple for the time being, and yeah, don't have a master plan necessarily. Trying to push my physique to be as epic as it possibly can. And the thing I'm noticing here is that my lats and pecs are growing more, and I think it's from the tempo change at the end of the session I've talked about in other videos and you're seeing in this training footage, where I pause in the lengthen position for the overhead triceps extension, and then I pause in the contracted position where the dumbbell's at the top, my arms are extended, and I kind of mix and match doing that with drop sets. I feel like that really is activating my pecs and my lats more than before, interestingly enough. You can, I think this like front double bicep shot here, you can see the lats kind of coming out from down low, which is sort of a sign of some more growth there. And the arms are at 18.75 inches flexed without a pump. With a pump, 19 and a quarter. Occasionally I'll bring the tape measure with me, and right after the workout I'm sweaty and my hands are shaking. I'm wrapping a tape measure around my bicep. Some people are looking at me. What the fuck is this guy's problem? If you only knew. Yeah, obviously the cold flexed measurement is the more reliable one, but to me it seems like, if I get a sick, wicked, nasty pump of the pythons, they're going to be a half an inch bigger pumped than they would be at their cold measurement. So, 18 and 18.75, which is awesome. In 2025, we've added 3/4 of an inch onto them. Obviously, that being enhanced via usage of testosterone. Where up to the end of 2024, we got them to 18 inches natural. And then I was stuck there for like a year and a half, and decided I wanted to go down another avenue, which is not a decision to be taken lightly, but also something that I am wanting to be transparent about. So that's, obviously I was probably at my genetic limit in terms of arm size. And I think I made a video called Arm Training Documentary on my channel, where I lay out my whole journey over 15 years. And I think if you watch that, I'd hope, and I would think most people would agree, I exhausted all possible options for growth. And I really genuinely felt at the end, I was like, there's just no way I can grow more. And I was a avid subscriber to the mindset of there's always something else. Don't limit yourself. There's always another way. And I think that allowed me to see a lot of extra growth. But realistically, there is a end point even to that mentality too, I think, where could be counterproductive if there's kind of an overwhelming amount of evidence sort of pointing towards, there may not just be another thing. This might be your biological genetic limit, which I think it was. But I am hoping and pushing to get to that 19-inch mark soon. I still think the main driver of growth is strength gain within, a hypertrophic rep range. Look at me with a big science word. Being, I would say 8 to 20. If you can get stronger in that rep range, that's going to be the main thing that leads to growth. Sometimes it seems like little tactics, drop sets, tempo changes, things do seem to stimulate maybe a little more growth, but the most tangible, reliable, concrete thing is that if I get stronger in these movements with the triceps and the biceps, that is consistently the most reliable predictor of additional muscle gain. So, and at the moment it seems like my strength gains may have plateaued a little bit, but sometimes over the past few months I think that I'm like, this is all I'm gonna get. A couple weeks go by, and then all of a sudden I have a workout and I bust through again. I'm like, another rep. Yeah. Sometimes it happens on days where I don't think I'm gonna get more reps too. Where you're feeling like ass a little bit. You're like, there's no way. And then you have a PR. So, it's kind of the point of showing up and doing your best, regardless of how you feel. All right. Thanks for watching. If you guys want the ARM program, as always, link is in the description. It helps me out if you want to sign up and juicify your pipe daddies, swell up your girth monsters, your upper decker ham hogs. Thanks for watching. Go out there and make some freaking gains. Stay consistent. Stay locked in. Be prepared for ups and downs. Getting negative is okay, but don't let it, change your actions. Feel the emotions. Let the negative thoughts have their day, and then get back in there and keep moving. Don't ignore them. Don't repress them, but also don't let them overcome you. Resistance against adversity, even if it's in your mind with negative thoughts, is the spice of life. Have a great day. Peace.